Hey guys, welcome back. This is the sequel to What is Data? In this video we're going to talk about databases, so if you haven't seen the first one in the series, What is Data, please watch that one first. Otherwise, have fun and live and learn.
Hi, this is Ferry, your data expert. Welcome to SaxSQL.
Alright guys, for the second part, now we have defined what data is. So remember, everything you can put in a list that includes pictures, audio files and video. The challenge now becomes is how do we store it in a computer? And in the first part I already explained that that will be done by using binary. We need to translate every single data item into zeros and ones. Now that is something we're gonna do later on. That is not relevant for the current course on databases and SQL. What we're gonna do now is let's draw what is called a bit of an architecture of what a computer system looks like in general and what role databases play in these environments. So it technically comes down to that you have, you see, I need a bit of more practice with this environment. It's not that easy to draw here, but hey, it looks like a stick figure. This stick figure is what is called an end user. And an end user means that is any individual that interacts with a computer system. Yeah. So an end user can be you watching this YouTube video now. You are interacting with a computer. You're using a piece of software called a browser. And you use the website YouTube to watch this video. This makes you an end user. Now, the main idea within software development and what is called information systems, which is technically software that provides information to end users. Of course, the main thing is that that end user, that can be an accountant, that can be you watching the YouTube video now, that can be somebody that edits and makes videos, that can be your grandfather trying to send you an email via Hotmail. All these people have one thing in common. They expect the software to work according to their expectations, and they expect the information that is offered by that system, hence information system, to be correct and timely. Now, that's easier said than done. A lot of things can go wrong, which we will discuss a bit later, but to give you a basic idea of what the general concept is of what is called an architecture is that there is a end user that interacts with a computer system, and this can be a request for information or an action. For example, trying to find information online based on a certain topic. In that case, you will just go to google.com in the browser, type in keywords, and you search for something that is considered to be a request, an information request. And you expect the software to respond in a manner that fulfills your information need. That is what is called information need. So let's keep this very simple. Info is what you expect to be returned to you as an end user, and that information then should be used by you to make a decision or to make a choice or to do a follow-up action if the information is relevant and correct and timely. Now, this is what we call the front end of a computer system. This is the part where the end user interacts with the part of the computer system, the software system, that we call the UI, which stands for user interface. Now, when we make a squiggly line here, then in the background, which is technically invisible for the end user, a lot of things happen in order to make sure that the request is fulfilled by the computer system. When we say computer system, what we mean is an ambiguous word. We mean the whole collection of hardware, software, databases, interfaces, and all this, what is called the tools that connect these systems together. So it's a very broad term, a container term. Later on we give more exact definitions of all these parts. For now that is irrelevant. So what happens in the background here, also called the back end, the part that is not visible for the end user? Yeah, a lot. But let's keep it extremely simple. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to draw a rectangle here, and I call that what is called the server. The server is a computer that you don't see, technically. The server technically takes the request from the user and sends that via the user interface to the server. Now, that is a complex system, but that complex system will be discussed later. But for now, I'm going to draw this little cylinder. And this cylinder is called the database. That's the universal symbol we use. So the database contains all the data that the computer system, information system, needs to use in order to fulfill the information need of the end user. So what can you expect in the database? Well, it is a computerized system that technically stores all the data used by the software system in order to cater for the end user's needs, information needs. Think of a bank, What does the bank know about you? What kind of data is known for you as an end user of your bank? If you go to the ATM, you interact with an interface, the ATM screen, you type in data. For example, you enter your bank card and you are supposed to enter your PIN code as well, and it needs to be checked. And once let's call it the bank system checks your PIN code, it allows you to withdraw money if you have enough balance. So, of course, that is almost an everyday action for most people. But what you don't realize is that in the background, in the computerized system, a lot of things are going on. For example, the amount of money you have in your account is data. There is a certain amount. And where is that stored? Well, that is stored in a database right here, alongside with your account number, card number, PIN code, your address, maybe loans you have, maybe credit you have built up, your credit card records, maybe historical data about your expenses, maybe a mortgage loan. Everything is stored in the database of the bank. So they know a lot about you, This database contains all the data, not only for you or related to your account, but as you can imagine, for all the people that use these bank services. So that is a lot of data. And in the first part, I already explained that technically data is nothing more than things or raw facts. That is something how it is defined, that you can put in a list, right? Well, can you put a credit card number in a list? Yeah, you can. Your name, your address, your zip code, your age, your date of birth, the fact that you're married or not, your maybe, I don't know, maybe, like I said before, credit that you have within the bank. What is your interest rate for those loans? All these things are physically stored in a database. Now, there are two main questions that you might have, or even 3, and that I can think of at this point in time. How do you store all that data in a structured manner so the computer system knows, this part here, knows, between quotes, what data is relevant for this end user? Yeah, you don't want to enter your bank card and then you want to see the balance of your neighbor. So this computerized system here has what is called decision logic. You need to make sure that the right end user gets the right data at the right time here. Now, that means this computerized system needs to make decisions based on what the end user wants and what the database holds. And at all times, that data needs to be correct. We rely on these systems to give us the correct data. If not, and you think you have $1 million in a bank account, because there was a wrongful request to the data, or the computerized system made a mistake, whatever that means, then yeah, you cannot really rely on this system. Now, in the information era, technically, we rely on this system all the time. Every time we interact with an ATM, we assume that the data that is stored about us is correct at that point in time. Yeah. But can we have that expectation? Well, we'll find that out a bit later. So the database here is a separate entity within a computerized system. So a database is not software, a database is not hardware, a database is not a network, a database is not a browser. It's that part of a computerized environment that stores the raw facts, the data. So how would you design something like that? What data need to be stored and in what way? So that makes it extremely challenging, right? And then the second part is, and that is where SQL comes in, this person will interact with an interface, for example, the browser or the ATM screen. And based on the actions that you perform on that screen, or in technically interaction with the software, you expect the backend, this here, to do the right thing and to retrieve the right data at the right time based on a request that you sent via the interface. Now, in order to access the database, we use a language called SQL, Structured Query Language. The term query means technically request. A request for information. But a database only stores data. So that means that the decision logic that takes place within mostly the server side needs to make sure that the data is transformed into information, so the information need of the end user can be met. So that begs the question is, how do you design a database? How do you know what data you need to store? What kind of end users do you have? How do the end users influence what and how you're going to store the data in a database? How do you make sure that the data in the database is reliable, is up to date, is not conflicting, right? So this is a big challenge, and over the course over the next few videos, we're going to unravel that a little bit. Yeah. Now, this was a long introduction, but at least you know what field we are going to research here. I'm still getting the hang of this whiteboard thing. It's not that great, but at least for now, this is still okay. I'm probably going to use a large physical whiteboard as well later, but for now, this is this is what we're going to explore. So in the next video, we're going to dive into what is data even deeper, and we're going to work through a few examples where we pretend to be the end user, and we're just going to ask ourselves, okay, what kind of data, based on what the end user wants in interaction with the system, do we actually need? And we start off very small, and then we expand that to larger domains. Okay, I hope this was clear, and please leave some comments below this video if you want me to explore certain concepts deeper. And once again, I try to keep these videos short. Once we get into the practical part, it will probably get shorter and shorter because every video is discussing one concept at a time. But we at least lay the fundamentals. We know what a database is, we know what data is, and the role of the end user, and the different components of a computerized environment. All right, okay guys, that's it for now. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help me grow. And please check out my website, www.saxsql.com. And again, like I said in my first video, if you have any requests, let me know, and we will see if I can incorporate that in the next series of videos. Okay, thanks for now, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check my other videos to master your data.